Hi everyone, I'm David Wallbridge, Associate Director at Harris & Clarke, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to tell you a story. It's about something that's a bit of a silent menace in a lot of homes, particularly older properties here in the UK, and that's damp in masonry walls. More specifically, we're going to focus on the hidden cause that catches people off guard, and time again, breach cavities. Now, we recently helped a client who was facing this exact issue, and by walking you through what happened in that case, I think it'll shine a light on how these problems start, how we diagnose them, and what can be done to put things right. So, let's get into it. This client came to us after months, possibly years of frustration. There were patches of damp showing around the lower parts of his internal walls, paint was flaking, plaster was bubbling, and no matter what, the damp remained, continuing to cause unsightly patches and damage. At first glance, the outside of the property didn't look too bad, but once we got involved and carried out a proper investigation, the story started to unfold. What we found was a combination of issues. Failed render on the external walls was allowing water to soak through to the outer leaf of the masonry. At low level, the cavity had become breached by a buildup of mortar and rubble, likely left behind during the original construction. The cavity insulation had been poorly installed and over time had become saturated, holding moisture against the inner wall like a sponge. Also, the existing render had been applied below the damp-proof course, effectively bridging it, allowing moisture to bypass the essential moisture barrier. So, whilst on the surface, it may have looked like a bit of isolated damp, the root cause was much deeper and a culmination of several factors than initially appeared. Now, for anyone unfamiliar with how cavity walls work, they're made of two layers of masonry with a gap in between. That gap, the cavity, isn't just empty space, it's a vital moisture barrier. When working properly, it prevents water to get through from the outer brickwork and making it into the inner leaf and into your home. But when that cavity is breached, whether by debris, failed insulation, mortar snots, etc., and compounding that with the render bridging the DPC, it creates a clear path for moisture to travel straight into the living space. And from there, it doesn't take long for the damp to cause real visible damage. Once we identified the core issues, our next step was to develop a clear and detailed specification for remedial works. No guesswork, no temporary fixes, just a practical plan based on evidence tailored to the property. Too often, I've been asked to look at properties where repairs have already been completed and the issue remains or even gets worse. We then find that inappropriate and often costly repairs have been recommended that are completely unnecessary, and often the actual root cause has been completely missed or ignored. Our spec included stripping away all the failed render, including the sections that have breached the DPC, carefully opening up the walls to remove the cavity debris and the saturated insulation. We then replaced that insulation with a modern blown system treated with a hydrophobic chemical that actively repels water, maintaining thermal performance without trapping moisture. We also addressed several internal improvements, including replastering and decorating of the affected areas to restore a healthy living environment, as well as some improvements including replacing the kitchen, as this room was the most affected. To protect our clients' investment and ensure value for money, we managed a competitive tender process, bringing in trusted contractors to price the job. This gave the client options and ultimately led to a high-quality contractor being selected for the work. The transformation was remarkable. We replaced all the external render with new, properly designed systems, accounting for thermal movement at known weak points. This ensured the render won't crack or fail prematurely, and that the finish will remain in good condition for many years to come. Internally, the property is now damp-free, warmer, and much more comfortable. And cosmetically, the place looks fresh and clean and well maintained. You wouldn't know it had suffered damp at all. Most importantly, our client can now relax, knowing the root cause of the problem has been dealt with, not just patched over. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Damp is usually just a symptom. The true cause often lies behind the surface, inside the wall structure, in the detailing or even the materials that were used decades ago. If you see signs of damp, particularly around the base of your walls, don't assume it's just condensation or bad luck. It might be a sign of breached cavity, a bridged DPC, or failed insulation, all of which require the right approach to fix properly. Critically, ensuring the issue is correctly diagnosed is vital to ensure you achieve what you want and make sure you're not wasting your money on unnecessary repairs. Getting a thorough survey and working with professionals who understand the nuances of building pathology can save you serious money and stress in the long run. Thanks for watching, and I hope this real-world case gave you a better understanding of how hidden building defects can lead to major damp issues, and more importantly, how they can be resolved. As always, if you need any help or advice on this or any other topic, please feel free to contact us through our website at harrisonclarke.co.uk, and I'll see you in my next video.